You know how in every neighborhood there's always that person? The one who just doesn't quite fit in. The grumpy old man who's always yelling at kids to get off his lawn. We've all got one, right? But what if the reason for all that anger was something so much more terrifying than you could ever imagine? Let's get into it.
So meet Uncle John. He's in his 70s and he is, without a doubt, the terror of his neighborhood. And he doesn't just make threats, oh no, he follows through. He's the guy everybody avoids, the name you whisper about. But the reason for all his rage is a secret that's been buried for 7 years, a secret that changes absolutely everything.
So who is this Uncle John today? Well, to put it simply, he's a man pretty much defined by his anger and his complete and total isolation. And look, this isn't just a case of being a little grumpy. He is actively hostile. There was this one time a kid's football landed in his yard. He didn't just throw it back. No, he walked out, took a knife, punctured it, and then threw the ruined ball back at them. He's basically built this fortress of misery around himself, and he dares anyone to get close. It's so easy to just write someone like that off, isn't it? To just label them a mean old man and be done with it. But what if that wasn't the whole story? What if the man everyone is so terrified of today was once someone they all actually loved? To really get what's going on here, we have to turn back the clock. We're going back 7 years, back to a time when Uncle John was a completely different person, living a completely different life.
And the change is staggering. It's like night and day. 7 years ago, Uncle John and his wife, Mrs. John, they were the neighborhood's ideal couple. Their house was always warm, always welcoming. Mrs. John was famous for this bag of candy she carried around, handing out sweets to every kid she saw. They were truly the heart of the whole community. So, what on earth happened?
His entire world, his personality, everything that made him who he was, just shattered. All in the course of a few hours. A single catastrophic event turned this beloved neighbor into the monster everyone now fears.
It all comes down to one night, December 25th, 7 years ago. A night that's supposed to be about joy and family. But for Uncle John, it became the start of a nightmare that has never, ever ended. Just picture this for a second. It's Christmas night. The John's house is the most festive one on the block. Lights everywhere. Then, suddenly, a terrible noise rips through the quiet night. When neighbors rush over, they don't find a party. They find Uncle John just collapsed on the floor, totally catatonic with shock. And his wife, Mrs. John, she's just gone, vanished, without a trace. And the police investigation? It turns up absolutely nothing. And you know how it is. When there are no answers, people start making up their own. The community filled that void with suspicion. 2 really dark theories started to spread. The first was that they'd had a huge fight, and she just walked out. But the more sinister rumor, the one that really stuck, was that Uncle John had killed her. That he'd buried her body somewhere in the dense woods behind their home. Just like that, overnight, he went from a beloved husband to a suspected murderer.
And his behavior after she disappeared only made things worse. It was like he was feeding the rumors. His beautiful garden, once his pride and joy, withered and died. And he developed this really strange habit of keeping every single light in his house on, 24/7. But on Christmas, the anniversary of it all, the entire house would be plunged into total pitch black darkness. He hated the holiday, yelling at anyone he saw celebrating.
And for 7 long years, that was how things were. The mystery was just accepted, never solved, until this past Christmas. That's when our narrator, who's stuck home alone with a broken foot, finally stumbles upon the terrifying, unbelievable truth. So he's stuck at home while everyone else is out celebrating, and he starts feeling this pang of empathy for the lonely old man. For the first time, he kind of gets it. So he decides to just check on him. He gets to the house, finds the front door unlocked, which is weird enough, but the real horror is around back. A solid steel door has been ripped clean off its hinges, and leading away from it, straight into the dark forest, are marks in the dirt, like someone or something was dragged.
Against all his better judgment, he follows the marks into the woods. And as he gets deeper, he realizes something is deeply, deeply wrong. The forest, which is usually buzzing with sounds, is dead quiet. A complete, unnatural, pin-drop silence that just feels heavy, menacing.
Pushing through this creepy quiet, he keeps following the trail, his heart just pounding in his chest. He's about to find out what really happened to Mrs. John 7 years ago, and what has been happening to Uncle John every single Christmas since.
He gets to a clearing, and he sees Uncle John up ahead, on his knees, weeping. It looks like he's talking to 3 tall, dark trees. But as the narrator gets closer, he realizes they aren't trees. They are figures. Pitch black, impossibly thin, with eyes that look like they contain entire galaxies. They are utterly, terrifyingly inhuman. And they are just standing there, watching. And then he hears it. Uncle John's plea, the same words he's been whispering every Christmas night for 7 long years to these things. He's not a monster. He's a broken man begging for the return of his wife from creatures that are beyond all comprehension.
And then, all at once, one of the figures points directly at the narrator. Uncle John looks over, and his face is just this mask of guilt and sorrow. In that exact instant, some invisible, powerful force yanks Uncle John violently into the dark woods. He's gone, in a flash. The narrator looks up just in time to see the 3 figures shoot up into the sky at impossible speed, their escape perfectly masked by the festive fireworks bursting overhead.
He runs. He runs home, terrified, and he knows his life is forever changed. He now carries a knowledge that he can never, ever share with a soul. Days later, Uncle John is officially declared a missing person. And guess what? The old rumors just resurface, that he finally ran away from his guilt, or maybe even took his own life. The neighborhood just moves on. But the narrator is trapped. He knows the unbelievable truth, but who on earth would ever believe him? He'd be called crazy. So he has to stay silent, haunted by what he saw in those woods. He now understands that the world is so much stranger and, frankly, more terrifying than he ever thought was possible. The silence of the forest isn't peaceful to him anymore. It's a sign that they might be back, a sign that they are always watching. So, it leaves us with this really chilling thought, doesn't it? The next time you see that grumpy old neighbor, the one everyone avoids, just ask yourself what secrets they might be guarding. Because sometimes the monsters we imagine in our heads are absolutely nothing compared to the ones that are real. And the scary part is, they exist, whether we believe in them or not.